General election, that's the important priority for us.
Well, let's check out what the reaction's been to this online. Joining us now from Westminster, as you can see, Alex Smith from LabourList.org and also Harry Cole, who blogs at ToryBear.com. Let's talk to you, Alex. First of all, let's just talk about this David Miliband statement in the last half hour. I'm working closely with the Prime Minister on foreign policy issues, and I support the Labour government that he is leading. Not exactly a ringing endorsement, is it?
Well, no, it's not. But I think the really significant thing is that the other cabinet ministers, and in particular Peter Mandelson, have all come out in support of Gordon Brown, as was the case last year in June. It's Peter Mandelson really who has the power to say whether Gordon Brown stays or whether he goes. And irrespective of how lukewarm David Miliband's response to this whole thing is, it seems now that this coup is probably over.
Well, Harry, let's bring you in. It's been a great day for Tory bloggers. We've got one on the laptop here. Neil, the director, will put it on the screen while we're talking. Do you think with Gordon Brown going, it's a question of when rather than if before the election?
I don't think he should go before the election. I think he should go tomorrow morning straight to the palace and ask the Queen to call a real election, a general election. If he wants to get rid of the plotters in his party, he should have the courage to go to the country. Let the voters decide, not a couple of backbench MPs who are already on their way out.
Alex, what do you reckon to that?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, we've had kind of a whole year now of this constant ongoing saga of whether Gordon Brown will stay, whether he'll go, and I think that's a major part of the motivation for why this email was spread around earlier today. But, you know, I'm even getting to the point myself where I'm thinking my own party in government looks to be in disarray, and I'm starting to think that maybe the sooner the general election comes, the better it would be.
We've got a Labour blog as well. We'll put that up on the screen while we're talking. How did the bloggers deal with this today, Alex? Do you think that the Labour bloggers were on top of this?
I think they were, and I think on Twitter as well as on the blogs, many people came out in support of Gordon Brown. The really interesting thing about this attempted removal of the Prime Minister, or at least this attempted movement towards a secret ballot, is that even those who traditionally have been opposed to Gordon Brown's leadership and have been opposed to his policies and some of the ways that he's communicated his policies are coming out in support of Gordon Brown. If there was ever going to be a change of leadership, it had to be last June. And that's why I think, you know, since then, we've really had to kind of focus, and the party has gone forward and has been improving in the polls, and now really isn't the time to do this sort of thing.
Harry Cole, you were laughing during that. What do you think?
I mean, Alex, you yourself were calling for the Prime Minister to go on Labour list last June. The Cabinet that were openly discussing it, dinner parties. What's changed? Why should we believe them now when they say they back Gordon Brown? They clearly don't. They're not proud of their leader. They're not enthusiastically endorsing him. Why should, if the Cabinet can't get behind the Prime Minister, why should the country?
Alex?
Well, I personally, but you know, like I was saying before, I do think that last June was the time that Gordon Brown should have gone. I said so publicly, I said so time and time again to Sky News and other organisations, and nothing's changed. The fact is that nobody is willing to come forward and stand themselves and say that I am an alternative leader. There is no credible candidate. That's the major problem that the Labour Party has at the moment, and that's why you've seen so many people coalesce around Gordon Brown's leadership.
So, Harry, you guys want Gordon Brown to stay in office until the election. You think that would be your best chance of winning, do you?
I want Gordon Brown out of office as soon as possible, and if it takes a general election, which it will, and it should take a general election to get rid of him, then the sooner the better. Why are we waiting? Why limp on until March or May? Why don't we just get this over with now? The country doesn't want Gordon Brown. The Labour Party don't want Gordon Brown. We should just get it out of the way. Let's go. Come on, we're ready.
OK, Harry Cole from ToryBear.com and Alex Smith from LabourList.org. Thank you both for joining us tonight. Well, next, the story is moving